Hello everyone, this is Jason Arnold. This is Health Informatics Course 655, and this is assignment number 5. And this is our video reflection of the SDLC vendor comparison, I guess, matrix. First off, like I said, most of these assignments, like I always say, I hate to be cliche, but they definitely, again, they represent real world I guess problems or scenarios that we're going to face. So we've been seeing that happening in class a lot. And again, you really appreciate it. And it's one of those reasons why, again, I wish that this course was given by itself, because there's so much detail in these assignments. And again, they're exhaustive, but they're attainable. But they're kind of exhaustive in the level of detail that it takes sometimes, or in not just the level of detailing, but in how much is actually done or what could be done, especially with if you're doing something like a vendor matrix or something, and if you have 8 or 10 different vendors that you may want to choose from, or if you're choosing from more parameters than what we were choosing from. So I thought that was a pretty good representation of things that we were be asked to do. Also, what was critical is understanding, once again, how your group members mesh and how they work together. With our group, it was pretty, I don't want to say sporadic, but it formed a really good group because we all have different times we work and how we work. I know with Willie, he might not be able to hit you every single day, but when he does hit you, he has a lot of work done, or he has a lot of stuff that he's kind of thought about or kind of worked through. So he's definitely very proactive in that sense. I know Phyllis, she works a little bit later because her work schedule, so her hours are a little bit later. So she's up late night working on things, reviewing things. So the next morning that a lot of us have some new insight. Shartae is definitely one of the people that's there all day long as far as working, you know what I mean? But she'll still be there and be active during the day. And I'm kind of the same way, but I'm all over the board. Some days I'll be up early and I'll be available during the day, and some days I'm not available and I'm only available at night. So I think the way we work as a group, it definitely works, and it has its perks. As far as again, the specifics in the assignment, with mine, I had to go through my own biases a little bit, because a lot of time when I'm working on these assignments, I'm looking at the I'm looking up EHRs, I'm looking at vendors and things of that nature, and through my Google searches, I get a lot of stuff about Cerner. We did a selection with Cerner, Allscripts, and Epic, and I get a lot of information for Cerner. Again, I work in mental health, and we do a lot of work with the VA. So I went into this thinking that, okay, yeah, since the VA is using it, the government's using it, they're going to do this mass overhaul with Cerner, so they have to be the best one. And I think my bias of thinking that, as well as maybe the bias from maybe my phone of just information that I received, just kind of, I guess, perceive me to, want to pick Cerner, or just want them to be the best option. So a lot of times I would find things for Cerner, and I wouldn't find it for another, I guess, vendor, and would be a little bit complacent in doing so until, I talk with my group members, or they ask, like, okay, well, did you see this part? Did you see this one? Okay, I saw it, but it's kind of hard to determine. So that was kind of cool. And so I think, like I say, my own bias has kind of played a part in it, because overall we picked Cerner. So I was kind of like, yeah, I thought they were going to be the best. But then I kind of had to realize, like, my own set biases in there. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then when I talked to somebody that actually works with the VA, he was kind of like, well, they actually use more Epic. They actually do this. And I was like, well, damn, what was I, kind of thinking? So, and lastly, I'm sorry, I'm over talking. But lastly, another thing I found interesting was the actual experience with these systems. I know it was a little bit monotonous for me. I'm not coming from, I guess, the systems base. I'm more, I guess, in the healthcare realm of it. But it's all interrelated, because we use these systems sometimes unknowingly, or we have people that use them. But a lot of things that I was trying to find, like I couldn't find, or I would find later, or I would find through the help of my group member and other group members. It may be things that they've got stuck on, but then they had experience using this actual system, so they knew, okay, well, this certain system does get through, prescriptions within a certain amount of clicks. It actually is a faster system to use than Allscripts, or you could definitely do CPOE and have your prescriptions done and delivered locally, or some local market or things of that nature. Like sometimes the specifics were kind of hard to find, and we wound up finding them, but other times we got to use the actual experience of our group members to actually help answer some of these questions too, which turned out to be correct when we got to doing our joint matrix, and we were, some people were able to find it with a little bit more detail, and it just kind of made things really, it made it not only easier for the group, but it made us understand, again, what these other companies or, other institutions, healthcare organizations, things of that nature go through as far as, choosing a vendor or what's any type of EHR specifically. So, all in all, I thought the assignment was a really good assignment. It was definitely a great assignment for the break, because it was something that was kind of not a long-winded assignment, but it's going to take you some time to look it up or just understand or just research. So I thought all that was pretty cool, and I enjoy it like I enjoy most of the assignments. And it's kind of been that way. It's kind of like a two-tone type of thing, kind of like with the midterm. You take it the first time, and you well, I know I took it twice, but like you do it, and you get the sense of understanding it for, like, I guess, the grade and the time and the relentlessness of it. You do it through that first part. Then if you were to do it again, it was more of like for learning, for understanding, more of like a secondary homework assignment for you to learn the material. And this is kind of how that is. You do something on your own and you figure it out, and you give it to your group. You kind of review it to see where you messed up at, where you did well at, who understood things the correct way, or who understood things differently, or how were your priorities. I think all that's pretty cool, because what we did notice, and I know I'm going all over the board, but our group members as well, our priorities were sometimes different, but a lot of times they were right on point. And the questioning sometimes of these under each, category for each vendor, sometimes we understood questions differently. And I just think it was really, really good assignment. So, again, all over the board, long-winded, but I'm just thankful for a great course and great understanding, and just look to complete the course and complete this term with everybody, and keep moving forward. But I guess that's what we're learning with program management and all of this thing. So so that is my reflection, long-winded as usual. Thank everybody for their time, and welcome any questions, comments, criticisms, or replies. All right, thank you.